The camera is now. Hi.
What?
What are your favorite albums of the year? Before we get into this.
Sorry.
This new Sorry album. Okay. Wet Leg.
Blue Weekend.
That was last year. That was last
What?
year. Blue
Wet
Weekend.
Leg. Wet Leg. Look at my film on. Who else?
Okay. You can lecture while I go pee about your
What?
favorite albums.
I don't know. I didn't start listening to albums until this year. I make playlists. I make a playlist every month of whatever I listen to and what I like. Marxist Love Disco Ensemble. That's really good for studying and staying awake in the library. Lucifer on the Sofa. Yeah, that's this year. That's a really good rock one. And softcore I listened to today.
Oh, the Fouché. Did you like that?
That was cool.
That's good.
Emotional Creature.
Did you
Fuck
mention
yeah.
Bronco by Orville Peck?
Oh my god, Emotional Creature. That's such a vibe. Early 2000s movies.
Oxygen.
Perfect.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. Oh,
Did the Caroline Rose come out this year?
I don't know.
No, that was 2018.
That's the old one though. No.
Damn.
I found
She needs to
out
put out more
about
music.
Caroline Rose this year. And she was one of my top songs for Spotify.
Well, you said she gave you like Lucy Dacus vibes, so.
Yeah, also, I listened to Lucy Dacus. That was good recently.
Well, that album was last year too.
Listened to Aeroplane Over
The Sea.
the Sea.
This-
I found that this year thanks to
This-
Tarot. And I played that a lot in the summer. It's like
Nerd.
fucking nostalgic. Okay.
You got your list. All right, sweet. So that was Izzy's favorite albums of the year. Thank you, Izzy, for your input. You're gonna hate my list. you're gonna say like what to some of these? I'm gonna have to explain. Okay. So for this list, I need to give a disclaimer. A lot of the ordering is very, very subjective. I said that albums 1 to 18 for me are like 9s to 10s. I don't think there were like any 10s this year yet, but I think they might grow to be like 10s for me. Everything 19 to 41, I would comfortably say is like a high 7 to like a low 9, and everything from 69 up through 42, I'd say is like a solid 7 to like a low mid 8. So it's kind of hard for me. Wait, I forgot to put in one right here. How do you spell the album name? Alright, beautiful. Let's hit it. I'm just going to breeze real quick through. Okay. 69, 070 Shake, You Can't Kill Me. 68, Rosalia, Motomami. 67, Matt Watson, See You There. 66, Daisy the Great, All You Need Is Time. 65, The Beths, Expert in a Dying Field. 64, Soccer Mommy, Sometimes Forever. Then Benny the Butcher, Tana Talk. Let's Eat Grandma, Two Ribbons. Fouché, Softcore. Adeem the Artist, White Trash Revelry. Joey Badass, 2000. I know it's low, but a Joey Badass album being good is not a surprise. Charlie XCX, Crash, The Smile, A Light for Attracting Attention. Beach House, Once, Twice, Melody. You know, I'll sing this section. Okay. Emor Hanabuji, Bjork Fossora, Trans Zimmer and the DJs, self-titled, Foxtails, Fawn, Elucid, I Told Bessie, dup, Florence and the Machine, Dance Fever, Ada Rook, Ugly Death and something, I Love You, Carly Rae Jepsen, The Loneliest Time, Jockstrap, I Love You, Jennifer B, Little Sims, No Thank You, Wise Blood, wait, I meant Sorry, Anywhere But Here, Wise Blood, and In the Darkness, Hearts Aglow, Perfume Genius, Ugly Season, Metric Formentera, Babytron, Bin Reaper 3, Old Testament, ba-da-da-da-da. Alright, now we're finally at top 40 of the year. Starting with The Weeknd with Dawn FM. I mean, great concept album. Definitely stronger in the first half, but still good, still solid. 39, Chat Pile, God's Country. This is one of the most difficult emotionally to listen to albums I've heard this year. It's phenomenal. I just don't think I'm going to be visiting it that much. Renaissance by Beyonce. Beyonce put out a great dance album this year. Just happy to see that she's still being as creative as ever. That first song, though, whatever, skip it. 37, Smino, Love for Rent. Big Outkast vibes on a lot of the tracks, and I'm not going to turn that down. Smino's also just continuing to prove with each release he's just getting better and better and better, and I'm really looking forward to whatever he's going to do next. Backwash with His Happiness Shall Come First, Even Though We Are Suffering. Fantastic production choices. I don't know if I like this as much as I Lie Here Buried with My Rings and My Dresses, but I still think it's great. It's just, it feels transitional with a lot of her beat choices, but just great album. 35, Leaf Ward, They Forgot the Album. I guess I'll also throw in his project Dead Livin'. Just probably one of the most personal writers out of Philly right now. After that, West Side Gun with Hitler Wears Hermes. 10. Fantastic end to the HWH series. I like all the songs. It's kind of a long-ish project. I don't know how much I'll be coming back to it, but I could listen to West Side Gun and go boom 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 forever, and I would never get tired of it. He could do that for a 6-minute verse, and I'd be like, oh, this is great. I'm just listening to that in my head. After that, Everything with Raw Data Feel. I was expecting this album to be a lot higher, but like I said, from the Babytron all the way up to number 19, which we'll eventually get to. I'll spoil it right now. Black Thought and Danger Mouse cheat codes. It's not higher because it's predictable. It's gonna be good. It's Black Thought and Danger Mouse, two legends. Roots, fucking Danger Mouse, Gorillaz, Gnarls Barkley, MF Doom. What else do you need to say? Anyways, Everything, Raw Data Feel. I think it's just because a lot more songs ended up sticking out to me long term, like Teletype, I Want to Love Like This, Bad Friday. Again, this is another album where I feel like first half is just more solid and more memorable, but that's not to discount the fact that the second half's great as well. Bladen Echo 2K with Crest. I haven't listened to the Thai Boy project yet. I'm sure it's great. I've heard a couple songs off of it. It sounds fine. This is the best project that any part of Drain Gang has come out with. I love every song. The 8-minute song, what is that? It's 5-star something. And Echo. What's the name of that song? 5-Star Crest for Vattenroom, yeah. Sorry, I was blanking. That, White Meadow, Girls Just Want to Have Fun. Flag is Raised, holy shit. Just, it's a phenomenal album. 31, Ashen Spire with Hostile Architecture. This Scottish metal avant-garde, it's not too experimental, honestly. Just production's great, atmosphere's phenomenal, lyrics are just potent and painful and strong, and I love it. Please, if you're into metal, do yourself a favor, check this album out. Speaking of great metal albums, 30 is Hiss by Wormrot. This is probably the best, like, grindcore death metal album in recent memory. Like, they're just on a whole nother level. It's not just like straight grindcore where it's just that was the song. There's elements, there's parts to it all, and it all coalesces into a phenomenal, breezy project. This next project is not terribly breezy, but it's like 50 minutes long, I think. The new Nas album, King's Disease 3. I mean, if this is the end of the series, great ending, but these past 4 projects he's done with Hit Boy are all, like, on a whole nother level of phenomenal. Speaking of a whole nother level of phenomenal, this is an artist I've been a fan of for years now. I discovered her in early college or late high school. Natalia Lafourcade with De Todas las Flores. I flucked up the Flores at the end, but whatever. Just so many different genres coming together. It's just kind of a long project. It's great though. I love it. But just the experimentation and the more like obtuse tracks play really well when paired with the more like slow burn cuts. That's another reason this isn't as high. I'm not a slow burn music type person most of the time. I like my slow burns more mixed in rather than a whole project that's mostly like low key, personally. 27. This is definitely going to be higher than I think a lot of people, just because like this artist is really derivative and really simple, but fuck it, the music's great. I love it. Beach Bunny's Emotional Creature. No, it's just good music. I'm plugging in my phone. Gotta keep it charging. Following this, it's the shortest project from this group and definitely their most hard-hitting, but Black Dresses with Forget Your Own Face. I know I mentioned the Ada Rook album earlier, but Black Dresses just continue to hold their own in this like digital hardcore style and are just so inventive and creative with each release. After this, disco album from Italy, Slovenia, and Croatia. Phenomenal. Would have never checked this out if it weren't for Professor Sky. Thank you. We got Earl Sweatshirt with Sick at 24. I know a lot of people weren't as crazy about this. Like, it wasn't as good as some rap songs, and I mostly agree. But song by song basis, I connected with this one more than I did some rap songs. I still prefer some rap songs, but some of the lyrics on this one just stuck out to me more. 23 is Spoon with Lucifer on the Sofa. Just all around great rock record. How you gonna hate on that? Speaking of all around great rock records, we got Cheek Face, Too Much to Ask. These guys have been on my radar for a hot minute now, like a year or two, and yeah, they put out a great album this year. Don't know what to say else about it. Just kind of fun indie rock, power pop. Lyrically, a lot of the songs, if you're into like They Might Be Giants, they're very silly and goofy and quirky and weird. 21 is Open Mike Eagle with Component System with the Auto Reverse. Now, I would probably put this album lower, but I know for a fact, because this happens with every Open Mike Eagle album, it continuously grows and grows and grows on me. So, right now, I would probably actually put this a little lower, but I know it's going to get to that point for me. I'm still listening to it, still digesting it. It's a beautiful mess. And one of my favorite albums of the year is also a beautiful mess. We'll get to that, though. Quadeca put out I Didn't Mean to Haunt You. This is my first time listening to a full Quadeca project, or Quadeca. I think it's Quadeca, though. But he's been on my radar for a while. I've always known he's incredibly talented, and seeing him take this next step of creativity is just mind-blowing to me. Great lo-fi, almost post-rocky at points, hip-hop stuff. Folktronic is phenomenal. I love to see his growth. Number 19, I already mentioned, Black Thought, Danger Mouse, Cheat Codes. Now we're at number 18, and this is where we get into all the projects that I think are like a whole nother level of my favorite albums of the year. This is like the high 8s to like what might become 10s for me. Starting with 18, we got Wet Leg with the self-titled album. Just another, just very, what's the word I'm looking for? Very character-defining, very fun album. It's just fun music. I'm not gonna hate on that. So after that, I'll put Lupe Fiasco and Pusha T in that order with Drill Music and Zion, and It's Almost Dry. Just two greats showing what they're great at. I think, well, I'm more likely to be listening to It's Almost Dry. I think I respect drill music more, but they're both great. I mean, this year has just been phenomenal for hip hop. Speaking of which, the next few albums are hip hop, or at least hip hop adjacent. We got Conway the Machine with God Don't Make Mistakes at number 15. I haven't revisited this one as much, but just emotionally, I remember the gut punch it gave me, and I think it's phenomenal. Conway's definitely been one of my favorites of the Griselda camp overall. 14 is Jid with the Forever Story. I know this is going to be higher for a lot of people. It didn't do that extra something for me. I still think it's great. I think Jid, this is Jid's best project by far. Is it JID? Is it Jid? I don't know. I'm going to keep saying Jid. Jid. Just a very personal, difficult album, but one song it's still been in my constant rotation, and it's Bredonem with Lil Durk. It's great. Love the little guitar on that. Love the hook. 13, we got Soul Glow, another Philly group, with Diaspora Problems. I just love this, like, noisy, punk-infused hip-hop. This album is a thrill from front to back. And then you start paying attention to the lyrics, and you're like, oh, shit. Unless it's, who gonna beat my ass? Who gonna beat my ass? And then you're just like, oh, shit. 12, I'm putting FKA Twigs with Capra Songs. Outside of, like, a couple tracks on here, I think this is the project from FKA Twigs I'm going to find myself listening to the most. I definitely respect Magdalene more, but because it's a little more artsy and weird, I'm less likely to just put it on in the car. That's something I'm going to revisit every now and then and be like, oh, this is phenomenal. But Capri Songs is just banger, 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 banger. It's so good. When this dropped in January, I didn't expect it to stick with me until like mid-December, and it has. I still listen to it every now and then, and it's phenomenal. Number 11 is Viagra Boys with Cave World. Waiting to get the CD for this, but I'm seeing them in concert with yours truly over here in February with our friend, and I can't tell you how excited I am. Very funny, creative, social commentary, very Devo-esque album. Every song on this is stuck with me long term, and I don't know what else to say about it. It's just great. Very, very heavy on the personality, like all Viagra Boys' stuff. We're finally at my top 10 albums. Top 10 albums. Here we go. Gais Guevara, There Will Be No Super Slaves. Is this the last Philly artist that's made it up? Yes. This is the last Philadelphia artist that has made it up this high. I'm not biased in that, just because I'm in the Philly area. This is a legitimately amazing hip-hop project. I loved Black Bolshevik when it came out, and he's only getting better and better and better and better. And now that it's like a fuller project rather than just like a couple songs, he's proving he can hold his own from end to end. And even if I'm not like fully with every single little production decision or every single bar, I think as a whole, like, everything here is immaculate. And the craziest part of me of like thinking about this is I know he's going to come out with something even better, and I know that it's going to be real, like, album of the year, nail biter contender for me. After that, I'm putting the Denzel Curry album, Melt My Eyes, See Your Future. I thought for a minute about like switching these two, but I wasn't sure. So just say they're tied for me. This is my favorite Denzel project so far. I know this one, like, when it came out, everyone was like, oh, this is the shit. And now it's been a little more with certain people, but I still think it's great, song to song. Like any Denzel Curry album, there's always like one or two bars where I just roll my eyes, or like some points where like production wise it feels like a little too samey, but I in retrospect, thinking about every single song, I can think of each one and a specific thing about them that makes them stand out. And the same applies for like albums probably like 1 to 12 for me. So, not going to spoil number 1, but down to Capper songs. Fontaine's DC with Skinty Fia. This was a very emotionally heavy album. When it hit me, I was starting the semester and it was really stressful. And this album kind of got me through a lot emotionally. So, it's just very grim, dark, post-punk, but with a lot of great hooks in there. I am Jackie down the line. Yeah, it's just great. Speaking of great hooks, and an even greater concert, I've seen him twice now, and I saw him on this recent tour, and it blew my mind again. Orville Peck with Bronco. This album dropped, in like April or May, and it worked just as well as a late spring, early summer album as it does as a winter album. It's just consistently great. His vocals have gotten so much better. The only song I'd really cut for me is like Iris Rose. I don't like the trumpets. And the song just kind of feels like it meanders. Every other song, though, is great. Even when it's really campy and over the top, like Kalahari Down or Let Me Drown, I still love it. Hexy Mountains has grown on me so much. It's one of my favorites on the album now. Now we're getting to an album. These next two aren't albums I'm going to visit very often, but I think they're phenomenal. I've listened to this next one probably about 5 times, and I've listened to the other one only twice, okay? So we got Gang of Youths with Angel in Real Time, and then number 5 is Big Thief with Dragon New Orm Mountain, I Believe in You. Happy I remember that title. I hope I did. The Gang of Youths album, very U2-esque, and I'm not even a huge U2 fan, but this album just hit so hard for me. When it was emotionally difficult, I felt it. All the hooks are phenomenal and they stick with you. Even the more singer-songwriter cuts where it's like, Brothers, for example, that song is painful. Even the first song, I will see you in everything. Like, when the songs take a more, like, sit-back approach, they still hit. My main issue with the album is, like, all the songs kind of going a little long. But once you're done the album, it feels so satisfying and enriching, so I don't really have any complaints. And the Big Thief album is just phenomenal song after phenomenal song after phenomenal song. There's too many songs, though. I love it, but that's why I'm not going to revisit it, because it's too long of an album, and I'm going to need to wait and come back to it in, like, a few months. Like I said, listen to it, like, twice. But it's phenomenal. Number 4 is Billy Woods. I said he was going to be up here. I listened to this album a lot at work, actually, of all things. Cutting vegetables and fruit for some reason. Just listening to Cannibal Dwarves, it came on all fours, and all that shit. But this is my favorite Billy Woods project so far. I like it more than all the Arm & Hammer stuff. I like it. I love Elucid, don't get me wrong. This is my favorite project from, like, Arm & Hammer as a whole. Even more than History Will Absolve Me, and I already said I Told Bessie. But yeah, it's just Billy Woods is just cut from such a unique cloth, and he manages to make an album. While it's so short, it's so dense. It's like 30 minutes, but it feels like an hour, like, content-wise, and there's still so much to unpack about it, and I love it. Top 3 albums of the year. This next one was the big emotional gut punch album before number 1. And it's Black Country New Road with Ants From Up There. I have the vinyl somewhere. Is it up here? Probably. I'm not going to get it. You know how good the album is. You listen to the album, statistically speaking. If you're an indie nerd, you listen to this album and you either thought it was way too showy, blah, blah, blah. It's not as good as their first, which I agree. But I think it's going to age better than their first, and I think it's going to stick around more as a classic than their first. So that's why it's not my number 1 like their first was last year. In retrospect, by the way, the Mokhtar album, Afrique Victime, has become my favorite album of last year. these opinions are subject to change. Nothing set in stone here. Just every song develops very beautifully. All the lyrics are gripping. I listened to this album a shit ton at the beginning of the year, and it's kind of petered out for me, but I still remember every song so vividly and so perfectly. This is the best send-off that Isaac could have ever had. Higher than this, only because it's shorter, it's quicker, and it hits better. So really these two could be swapped for me, depending on my mood, depending on the day. It's Black Midi, with Hellfire, of course. I got Cavalcade on the wall. Can you see it? Not really, can you? Yeah, there it is. There's Cavalcade. You can kind of see it. I love Black Midi. They've been one of my favorite groups for a hot minute now, one of them. And every album is just so unique and different. And to me, Hellfire is like the best fusion of like the strict jazz fusion of Cavalcade and just the noisiness of Schlagenheim. And they managed to strike a great balance while also making a concept album at the same time. And I just can't say enough good things about this album. Just listen to it. My number one album, Kendrick Lamar, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. I don't love every song. There are other albums below this where I like every song. And I do like every song in here, but not every song's a big hit for me. There are a lot of details that I don't care for. But for example, the Kodak Black feature. Obviously Kodak Black, despicable character. Is he great on the album? Yes. But do I find him completely reprehensible? Yes. But because time kind of wears, I think it's going to be something where in 5 to 10 years I'm going to be like, okay, I get it. Right now, still kind of, I don't feel great about it. But it's just, as a whole, it's a big, beautiful mess. And it's that messy to a fault for some, but for me, it gives the album more and more character. And it makes the more emotionally gut-punching tracks, which are some of my favorites on the album, like Father Time, Auntie Diaries, Mother I Sober, just hit so much more. Even Savior Interlude. I can't say enough great things about this project. It's way better than Damn. Because Damn, on a good day, it hits, but most of the time the production feels like it's either drowning in bass or is kind of soupy and just kind of. So I'm not crazy about Damn. Sorry. I love this album, and I think it's only going to age better and better and better and better. So yeah, that's my best albums of the year list. Hope you enjoyed. Do you have any major disagreements you want to fight me on?
I don't know.
Was the Soccer Mommy too low?
Honestly, I've been doing my own work. Trying to tune you out.
That's probably better. Alright. Food is here. I'm gonna go eat. Peace.